How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today we're going to talk about the importance of positive cash flow. When I'm doing consulting, I look over people's entire financial background, what kind of assets they have, what kind of money they're earning, if they have rentals, if they have a business or whatnot, and I look at their cash flow. What's cash flow positive? It's everything that you're making minus all your expenses. This video is brought to you by Flexypot. They make a really good power recliner. This one is called the XL6. It features independent control so you can move the back and the leg rest at the same time so that it's completely flat. About 12 seconds to fully retract the leg rest. It lifts you out of your chair, especially good for older people. You have two controls. These are for adjusting the sit stand position and also the footrest. These are adjusting for the backrest. And this one, if you turn it on, you have a vibration massage throughout the chair. I talked about this recliner last time and I liked it so much I asked Flexyspot to send me another one. I can remove one of these sides, bring in another one, and join them together and turn it into a couch. I cut up these foam pieces myself, and it comes with these pillows. I wanted to make sure it's the same color, and look at that. We got like a love seat here. I can still have independent controls of both chairs. I can lift the leg rest on this one, and that one can stay down. Each of these chairs run less than $500. If you look at anything else on the market with similar features, it's more than $2,000. If you guys are interested in getting one of these, check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. What you're making includes your salary, dividends, average stock gains, although I tend to put this in a different category knowing that it's stock gains. There's rental income, residual income from any kind of royalties if you have that. Expenses include things like credit card spending, real estate taxes. If you have a rental, it's the maintenance. You have to add that in as well. And there are different camps of how you should manage your financial life. Some people, they might want to concentrate on income, and this might work for a small group of people where they make so much money where they absolutely don't have to look at what they're spending. Like some famous people, you know, they make $10,000 an hour and it's just not even worth it for them to pick up $1,000 bill on the floor because that would cost them more time to pick it up than use their brain and make their $10,000 per hour. Other people might focus only on saving. And I think when you start focusing too much on saving, you start penny pinching and then you start wasting your time. I like to take a more double prong approach to this. You need to make more and spend less at the same time. And then you become very, very cash flow positive, almost automatic, because once you set up your minimum spend for many things, you don't actually have to do extra work in order to spend at that low amount. Over the years since my 20s or so, the spending might be at a certain level, and then I might spend like a month or two working on one particular bill and see what I can do with it, how I can lower it a little bit more, and then you learn more and more. So once you've set that up, for example, I used to pay much more for a cellular bill. Back in college, I spent maybe like $50 a month for a cellular plan, and now it's like less than $20 or so. It cost me a one-time extra cost of finding out what's cheaper. I have to do a bunch of work canceling the old plan, getting the new one, and then once you're set, your burn rate drops down pretty much permanently for a really long time. Another example is insurance. If you take the time to shop for a cheaper insurance with equivalent coverage, it drops down and it stays down. My observation with many of the people that I consult with is that they have no idea how much they're actually spending per month. Here is what I personally spend every single month. You can see I've written it down exactly, and it's pretty easy for me to, update this from month to month. I just updated it just for this video. Health insurance has ballooned to $468. It pretty much increases about $20 every year. Another 5 years, it's gonna be another $100 more, I think. Property tax and HOA, my mortgage is zero. I worked very hard to pay it all off with my salary income from my engineering job, but I still have property tax and HOA to pay, which is around $435 now. Home repair maintenance, I'd say zero, but it's probably not zero. It's likely around $100 or $200 a month, depending on what happens to the house. Some years I need to replace a roof. That's a long time ago. Sometimes you need to, let's say, replace a fence, which is something I just did maybe half a year to 1 year ago. Gas and electric. This is crazy. When electricity rates are going up, I lowered my gas and electric bill to around $60. That's because I just installed a hybrid inverter system, 8 200-watt panels. So on an average day, I get around 7 kilowatt hours. The house uses about 7 kilowatt hours, but there are some inefficiencies here, so I still need to use a little bit. So the electric part of my gas and electric is around $35 a month, and I probably could lower it to around $25 to $20 per month for the next month. My internet is about $51, water $33, trash $20. Cell phone bill is actually zero right now because I'm still using some referral bonus that I got some years ago. Car insurance $102. I buy Tesla insurance from Tesla, and car registration $57, maintenance around $30. I probably have to buy some new tires pretty soon. If you factor in $30 per month, you use it for 3 years, you get about $1,000 to spend on tires. Zero for gasoline because it's an electric car. Fast track, I haven't been crossing the bridge too much, although I do it sometimes. It might be like $20 a month or so, but you get the idea. Groceries is really low, $200 a month. How do I get it that low? Buy a whole chicken, cut it up yourself, buy in bulk. I wouldn't buy beef from Costco because it tends to not be all that cheap. I would wait for deals at your local grocery store. Look for around $6 a pound for beef. Although I do buy lamb at Costco, it's around $6 there as well. Discretionary spending is $100. I say $100, but honestly, it's a lot more than that. For example, this month I just bought a fridge. Cost me like $1,700 or so. So anyway, this is more like minimal burn rate of recurring expenses, things that I know I'm gonna have to pay no matter what. Even if I try to cut very, very deep to the bone, I'm gonna have to spend $1,500 every month. That means every single day I better earn at least $50 just to stay afloat, to not have a net negative in my cash flow. Now, if you play the cash flow game, hold on, let me go get that right now. See? I wanted to review this a while ago. Couldn't figure out a good way to review a board game on this channel. And you basically go around the outside loop where you're an employee making cash and you're trying to save enough money so that you can have enough rental income or dividends to pay for your life, basically. And then when you're out of the rat race, you do other kinds of things like business deals, you invest. And I highly recommend it. If you're not familiar with cash flow in general, it certainly teaches you how to get out of the rat race. Who wouldn't want to get out of the rat race, right? You're more in control of your time, I'd say. Created by Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When I first read it long time ago, I just couldn't imagine myself going into the fourth quadrant, they call it, where you're like an investor in companies. The game, it kind of may tailor it more towards younger kids, where I think if you play Monopoly, it doesn't really teach you about things because it doesn't really reflect real life. Over in this board game, it's kind of like you're in the rat race, you're making a salary and stuff. Let's say you have a mortgage on a property, costs you $2,000 a month, and you rent it out. You have to rent it out for more than $2,000 because you have other expenses within that property, such as property tax and maintenance. You got to tack on a little bit more. And if you rent it out for more than that, then you're cash flow positive. It's important to have some kind of income. I don't care where it's from, if it's from a job, if it's from selling stuff on eBay, if it's from like driving for Uber or whatnot. You have to make enough to cover your expenses at least, because if you cannot cover your expenses, you start digging into your savings, and if you don't have savings, you are borrowing on credit cards. So you absolutely need to find some way to make enough to cover your expenses. This might sound like simple, right? It is simple, at least to me, but I've seen it so many times from a wide variety of people. Let's say you have a nest egg and it's pretty big. Let's say it's like $200,000 or something in cash. And if you don't have an income, or if your income is not enough to cover your expenses, there's a net negative drain on your finances. Let's say it's like $1,000 a month. So your $200,000 gets reduced by $1,000 every month, slowly every single month. And you can't do this for very long before you drain the entire account to zero. It's important to stay net positive, at least if you are young. If you are older and you're retired or ability to retire, investable assets of a very, very large amount, likely over $1 million of investable assets. You do the 4% rule, making sure that you invested it properly in supposedly equal parts S&P 500 and equal part bonds, then you are allowed to spend about 4% of that. So $40,000 is your maximum burn rate if you have that much sitting around invested. In that case, then you can kind of wave your hands and go, okay, your average income per year from those investments is about $40,000. You definitely need to go under spending $40,000. If you go over, let's say spending $50,000 every year, well, you're eventually going to reduce your investable assets little bit at a time. Of course, it depends on the market conditions because this 4% rule is averaged over a long period of time. The more cash flow positive you are, the faster you're going to amass wealth. What is wealth for? When you have it, it will make money for you. That's why getting to that point, it's critical. Once you have that, you have a base to work off of, especially if you have it invested properly. You can do whatever you want after that. And once you reach that point, it's not like, oh, you're going to be on vacation and drink pina coladas on the beach all the time. To me, once you reach that point, it's more about freedom. You don't actually have to work for the man. You can concentrate on other endeavors that you enjoy. Thanks for watching this video. If you're not net cash flow positive already, I hope this video helps as like a starting seed so that you can sort of work towards that way. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more.